Hello, and welcome to the Abandoned Beers podcast. It is the only podcast that matches your favorite bands with our favorite beers. Days are dawning. We're here to drop Derry and Toms. It's time for a bit of the gay and hearty and a bit of the give and take down at the near and far. My name's Pat Zapp, and I'm here with my two best buddies in the whole wide world. Let me introduce them to you. This guy's sitting next to me. He's a real battle cruiser. He's not afraid to get elephant's trunk. Always getting pony and trap on his dicky dirt with a massive loaf of bread. He's Dan McHenry.
How's everybody doing today?
All right. And our other buddy down there on the end? He's a great china plate. Love his brick and mortars, his cows and kisses. He's got bread and honey in his rocket, in his sky rockets. He's Dusty Swartz.
Hey, everybody. We are everybody.
R.I.P. to the baked bean. Thanks for taking a butcher's hook at our rabbit and pork about the pig's ear. Can you Adam and Eve it? It's another episode of A Band and Beers. Boys, welcome to the podcast.
How we doing today?
I'm really
It's nice and beautiful. We're still on our beach tour right now, so we're having a blast.
our six pack at the shore. We're keeping it going.
That's right.
That's right. We are Abandoned Beers. We're here to make you drink beer, think about England, and get sad and stuff. We are just about ready to get rocking and rolling and cracking and drinking as the final part of our semester at sea, our sessions at the beach. It's been fun, guys.
It has.
Yeah, I think we're really hitting a groove, getting all these one after another.
There's been a lot more playing with children than I anticipated.
This is exactly as much as I anticipated.
Right.
And lots of beer has been drank as well, so
Yeah.
we've been having a good old time.
We're in the afterglow of that drinking that happened last night, and we are starting it off again
That's right. Hair of the dog.
with another band. This is my pick. A first for the Band and Beers podcast. We're going across the pond to merry old England, a band that, for me, just encapsules that British pop rock. The band we're going to be discussing today is, of course, Oasis.
Can we all just agree Oasis the best British band since the Beatles?
I think it's undeniable at this point. If you haven't been listening to Oasis this entire week, like we have, here's what they sound like right now.
I need to be myself. I can't be no one else. I'm feeling supersonic. Give me gin and tonic. All around the world, you gotta spread the word. Tell them what you heard. You're gonna make a better day. All around the world, you gotta spread the word. Tell them what you've heard. You know it's gonna be okay. But my God woke up on the wrong side of his bed, and it just don't matter now. 'Cause little by little, gave you everything you ever dreamed of. Little by little, the wheels of your life, they're slowly falling off. Little by little, you have to give it all in all your life. Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova in the sky. Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova, a champagne supernova in the sky.
Guys, Oasis, another band, well, a band I picked, a special band to me, a big part of my childhood, you know, my first album ever, was Black Sabbath, so I'm used to my rockers being, accented. And, another part of this was just like I was really interested in the kind of beers you two gents would come up with for this band. But it is my duty to introduce the first band. I'm going to break it out for you right now.
The first beer.
The first beer. Did I say band again?
Yes, you did.
Holy crap, I
You
can't
love
do it.
saying
Your
band.
boy's dyslexic as hell. And
We got that early pod today, guys.
had a rough
Yeah.
night last night.
Woo.
All right. Do we have bottle openers?
Yeah, I can get one.
Yeah,
grab
we're
one
gonna
of
have
those.
to go grab one.
Let me do it.
What I'm about to do is to present to you, to the group. I feel like Oasis is the pride of London, so I brought London's Pride from Fuller's. It's an outstanding amber ale.
And it looks like it's the Griffin Brewery in Chiswick. Chiswick? I bet that W is silent.
So, guys, I said it earlier in the intro. For me, Oasis is British pop rock, in my humble opinion. So I went out and I found a beer that sort of just embodies that with the name. But if we're getting into the taste, it's not just an iconic ale of the capital. London Pride is an all-British affair that unites a nation of beer drinkers. It's brewed with entirely homegrown hops, targeting for bitter and North Down challengers and goldings for aroma, but the soul of the beer is unquestionable in the malt. Unquestionably, it's in the malt. Crystal malts combined with spring harvest pale ale varieties, it gives pride to its inimitable depth and balance.
It's good. I'm enjoying this. This is a nice little. It's 4.7% alcohol, so it's a light kind of beer. Not. It isn't a light beer, but it's light on the the taste buds. So I'm enjoying.
You're not describing it well, but I
No,
totally
thank
get.
you.
I totally get
Yeah.
what you mean.
I'm still waking up too. All right, it's early.
It's light and it's not lightness.
You're getting some of the taste of like having like a dark, like what is that, like brown kind of amber beers out there. That was one I was trying to think of specifically, but it isn't too heavy. You're right. Goes down nice and easy. And I bet you this is pronounced like Chiswick or something like that, even though it's just Chiswick. Chiswick.
Yeah. And I'm looking at it's brewed by Asahi UK Limited. So yeah, this is a. Did you bring this home from Japan?
Well, I was in Japan recently, but this one I found in Conshohocken, so it was a little bit of a trip for me to go get it. But fun store, nautical themed.
Okay. Well, what was the name of the store?
Oh, I will find
you've
that
already
for you.
Okay.
Yep.
Or was it a like an English pub that you had to go to get this, and you had to fight somebody at the pub?
Union Jacks or something like that.
The nautical nature of the place did make it seem like it had sort of an international, like it was a seafaring
Yeah.
all over the place. So it did have that kind of vibe.
Was it the Boathouse or something? Isn't there like a Boathouse pub or something in
Boathouse
Conshohocken?
pub. That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Pretty cool. I'm digging this beer. Fuller's London Pride, and pride is the biggest word on the label too. So that's clutch.
Outstanding, written in cursive. I just binge watched all of Ted Lasso, so maybe that was influencing me in some way. And then Oasis brings up so many different memories for me, being on the soundtrack of Snatch, of course, the most British movie of all time. And then for some reason I'm remembering End of the World, where Sean and the boys that are, King goes into the pub, is like, is it nutty? Is it fruity? Does it have a lingering taste that lingers on the tongue?
Oh, right.
The
The World's End.
World's End.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the last of the whatever trilogy that is. I don't remember the name of that ice cream sandwich.
But to me, an interesting discussion that comes up, beer, music. We've discussed at length the similarities between the two. But to me, I think it's interesting that other parts of the world do things different, brother. England makes beer their way, just like the Northeast makes beer their way, just like out west they make beer their way, just like down south they make beer their way. Also with music, dude, because the English guys, they got their own style, just like
The Englishes. I love it.
Those English guys.
the English punks have their version of punk. They have their version of rock, just like over here, our New York punk scene is different from the punk scene out in Chicago. Just
Or California.
like
Skate punk, yeah.
For sure.
East Coast hip hop and West Coast hip hop, brother. It's all different.
Yeah, right on the money there, Pat. A Neva versus like a West Coast IPA, you can taste it.
So, yeah.
I mean, I like this beer. I think this is fun. I like that they just like our ingredients are water, malted barley, and hops. This is beer.
Yeah, that's beer in a nutshell right there.
And I guess as far as London Pride, it does make sense to me that it's I don't know. Is this like a standard pub ale? I haven't been to London. Have you, Dan?
I have not. I've been to Ireland a couple times, but not London. It's on my bucket list. So.
Yeah. I might have to go for work in like a month or so.
Nice.
So
All
we'll see.
right. Well, make sure you order a Fuller's London
Yeah,
Pride while
I'll
you're
see how
there.
they pour it.
Just with the, what are they called? Englishophile? That's the one.
Someone who
Anglophile.
loves English people?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. She was particularly into, had visited a couple of times. Smartened me up to this beer.
Yeah.
I think it's well known. I could be wrong. I don't know if it's a regular on the tap or if it's a in all the pubs or just a brewery that cranks them out and puts them on the shelves.
Yeah.
The fact that they're I guess they're owned by Ashi, or like are they
Asahi.
Asahi, or do they get bought by them?
Or maybe Asahi just moved into and it's brewed in London, so it is. They do give a London, a UK address. So, it's probably one of those. Maybe it started out as a like local, microbrewer, and then they got bought.
Maybe it's like Rolling Rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they got bought out, but
by a
it's
big
still.
conglomerate. And,
Yeah.
You haven't come across these in any of your soccer matches?
This is the first time I'm seeing this.
All right.
And I've gone to
I
a
think
couple
I've heard of
different pubs.
Fuller's, but never this beer.
I've heard of Bulmers, but not Fuller's.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of too.
But yeah, this is good. I'm digging it.
All right. So, do you want to give us a rundown on Oasis there?
All right,
The Gallagher brothers.
Oasis were an English rock band. I say
That's
were because
true.
they're not together right now. They were formed in Manchester, England, in 1991. Originally, they were known as The Rain, which is a Beatles song. The group initially consisted of Liam Gallagher on lead vocals and tambourine. Don't forget that tambourine.
He's always trying to
Yeah.
make a meal out of that tambourine jam.
We got Paul Arthurs was on guitar, Paul McGugan on bass guitar, and Tony McCarroll on drums. Liam's older brother Noel, who eventually became lead guitarist and an additional vocalist, later joined as the fifth member, finalizing the group's core lineup. And during the course of their existence, they had various lineup changes, with the Gallagher brothers ultimately being the only stable members in the group.
Well, it'd be really annoying to have two Pauls in a group of 5 people.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
That's probably why they didn't get along. It must have been super
maybe
annoying.
one of them was PJ or whatever.
Yeah, I would. It's like being like Paul K. It would just be super annoying all the
I
time.
think Paul, the guitar player, is known as Bonehead. So that probably,
There you go.
cut down on some of the confusion.
Hey there, Bonehead.
This is going to be a big sibling rivalry episode. Noel comes into the band and really solidifies the group as their main songwriter, as their lead guitarist.
Yeah.
And then I guess the main one that has to put up with Liam's crap because he's a bit of a troublemaker.
Yeah, so when Noel wanted to join the band, he approached them with the provision that he would become the band's sole songwriter and leader, and that they would commit to an earnest pursuit of commercial success. And under Noel, the band
Look,
crafted.
right, I'm going to be doing all the singing and all the songwriting.
Yeah.
We need to take this music very seriously. That means you, Bonehead.
So the band crafted a musical approach that relied on simplicity, with the rhythm guitar restricted to bar chords. For anybody who's a musician, you know they're pretty simplistic chords to play.
Oh,
The
yes. I
bass
picked that
notes-
up for sure.
Yeah. When you're listening to the bass lines, they're very simple. There's nothing. This guy's not taking the bass line for a walk at any point. And then basic drum rhythms, and then the guitar amps are turned up to create distortion. So their sound was described as so devoid of finesse and complexity that it came out sounding pretty much unstoppable. I thought that was I like that line.
Yeah. I don't know if that's how I would describe it.
I'd say the devoid of finesse and complexity. I think I would agree with.
Right.
They
It's so simple that it works.
Yes.
Just pretty much, every time.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they followed a standard. Their songs have a standard. Chorus, verses. Guitar solo, outro.
Same basic rhyme scheme for all the songs, pretty much too. And yeah.
He's not changing octaves very much. It's
I don't think that I knew how many albums they had.
yeah.
And it did create sort of a same
Yes.
during the process.
I think listening to them
was-
all back to back, especially like that, I was
Yeah.
like, oh lordy.
Yeah, I was super familiar with at least 3 or 4 of the albums in the beginning, and then listening to some of the stuff I hadn't been, I was just like, they have the same song but better on other records. I don't know why I'm listening to this now.
Well, I think what the trap I fell into was that I was just like, I'm gonna listen to the deluxe version. They probably remastered it or some such, because I wasn't really familiar with the full albums. Of course, I knew the hits. And I was like, man, they're doing like a 2 CD album. Then I was like, the next one, I was like, 3 CDs. I was like, what's going on here? These guys are just crushing out music. But that's not what it was.
No.
They just released deluxe album. So I listened to so much extra Oasis, and I think it
wow.
really made my blood boil.
And it seemed like all of their albums that were on Spotify were the deluxe edition. So it was a couple times I was listening. I was like, "Is this really a track, or is this did they redo this? Was this a B-side?"
Exactly, yeah.
So it was interesting giving them a listen. Their full catalog a listen for me at least.
Yeah, and then what did we have for genres?
Genres. This was the most simplistic genre list that I've seen so far.
Okay.
Rock
Yep.
Yeah.
There. All right. Good. We're good.
and Britpop. Britpop would be.
I think someone just made that up because they want to have.
No.
K-pop.
They were extreme. Still are to this day extremely popular in England. So
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the record sales, all of their albums go to #1 in the UK. It's crazy. They must just
so
like
some
hard
of their
following over
their similar bands would be Blur during that time period. You had the Stone Roses,
that.
a couple other bands. We were listening to music earlier, and eventually, once we finished an Oasis album, it started. Spotify started playing just similarly sounding bands, and they all sounded very similar to Oasis.
came up
That is true.
Yeah.
It is hard to comprehend how popular Oasis is in their home country.
Yeah.
Because there are stories of them playing a 250,000 seat arena, and 25 million people were applying for tickets. I mean, to be able to sell 250,000 tickets and still have 10 times more people wanting tickets is just a crazy amount of people that want to see you.
Taylor
see you
Swift
play.
levels.
Taylor Swift levels now. We're seeing it now with
Yeah,
Ticketmaster.
they would.
Yep.
They would crash Ticketmaster's website in England if
Yeah.
definitely. If Ticketmaster exists in England, I
It
don't
would
know,
be
maybe
called
they would
like
different.
TicketWix or something.
Yeah,
over
Ticketwix.
there.
There you go. I like it. And if that doesn't exist, I think we need to pursue that.
Yeah, we can just give it away for free. It's like you
Yeah.
make it once. It's really not that hard to do ticket sales. I don't know why this is a monopoly that exists. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, maybe we should disrupt the industry somehow.
There's other platforms out there that are. I just don't get it. It's a money grab, unfortunately.
Yep. It's all money grabs.
How many?
so.
How large of a theater or stadium would Oasis sell out here in the States? Do you guys think? They got back together, played.
If
right
they got
now.
back together, they're probably selling out arenas like Madison Square
Arenas,
Garden.
for sure. Yeah,
I don't think they're
Staples
doing. I don't
Center.
think they're going the stadium route.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, in England they're selling out Wembley, no problem.
Yeah, that's
And
probably true.
Doing all the the festivals, I forget any of the Glastonbury or any they could sell those out. Well, obviously those festivals sell out anyway, but everybody would be there to see Oasis. So.
Right.
They do it
We
nice.
have in Philadelphia, we're famously home of the Roots, and the Roots play or used to play a thing July 4th almost every year.
Yeah, well, the Roots Picnic.
And that brings out, massive crowds. I mean, it's not a ticketed event, but
Yeah.
I think it is a ticketed event.
maybe it is.
Yes. Ticketmaster's got their grubby hands on that too.
Screwing us again!
Yeah, so London Pride.
London Pride.
I'm digging this beer.
Yeah, it's a lovely drinking beer. It's easy drinking. You could have it at a pub, I'm sure, and just relax, catch a match.
Yeah,
like
you
it's,
could,
it's a nice, easy drinking beer.
A plate of fish and chips. Take the apples and pears to the, make sure you don't fall
Some-
on your bottle and glass.
Some blood sausage.
I think it's how I think of Oasis. Like, it can be on the background, like you just hear it all the time. They're kind of prolific. I'm sure, especially in the UK, and just like this beer is like you got it. You're used to it. You have it everywhere.
All right, I think it's time for us to take a quick break. We'll enjoy some Spotted Dick real quick for a dessert, and we'll be right back with our next beer.
And we're back for some more beer. And boys, for this one, I think, like I was looking for something like Oasis, how they perform in the U.S. versus the U.K. And ultimately, I settled on something that has a mystique about it, a beer. Sort of like I think Oasis has mystique. Like certainly the relationship between Liam and Noel. But there was also this, especially when they were first coming out, like everyone kind of appreciated, like, oh, this might be the next Beatles. It definitely didn't play out that way, at least everywhere else but the UK. So I wanted to go for a beer that had a mystique. I think it's beloved in its region. I think you hear about it, especially when you first drinking beer. Maybe Oasis is like an easy band to start listening to when you first really start getting into music. It's like, oh, this is good, maybe. But maybe there's other things out there that are a little bit more specific or a little bit better for you or suited for you. So I went for Le Chouffe. This is a Belgian blonde. This is like a really popular beer over in Belgium. It's really good beer. I can't wait to share it with you guys.
I just love that you went back to the Belgian or was it Dutch the last time?
My last beer?
That when you brought out your flavor syrup.
Oh, yeah, that was German.
German, sorry. And
Yeah,
Dutch
so,
and German, that's all.
it's definitely staying international. This one is a little bit high on the ABV.
Uh-oh.
8%, here we go.
Yeah, guys, that's why we're staying over. So this is the description on the back. Le luton de la vallée de Fils appréciant particulièrement cette bière dire le Chouffe avec son goût. Oh, guys, you guys don't speak French?
No.
Opener.
The gnomes of Fairyland are particularly fond of this golden beer.
Okay.
Le Chouffe, with its slightly hoppy taste, combining notes of fresh coriander and fruity tones, is the drink which gives them their zest for life. At least, that's what these Sims say when they are thirsty.
I am definitely getting the coriander.
The coriander.
Yeah.
I remember that from the Hitachino Nest beer.
This was a disaster. Yeah, what do you guys think?
I'm digging it. This is real deal Belgian beer. It's all the writing is in Flemish. So is Flemish is that the language, or is it just Belgian?
No, there's Belgian, there's French, and they speak English in that
Okay.
area. Yeah.
Is
And I
Flemish
think
a
German,
language?
too. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I sound very
Yeah, so I
Astute.
think this is like a beer that you hear a lot about, right? You hear about Belgians. I thought about doing like a Dubel or a Tripel, but like I feel like they're too strong. They certainly would have like I think a niche following, but I don't think that's exactly right for Oasis. I think they are a very good band. Even if you don't like them, you appreciate who they are. And this Belgian blonde, I think it's a really good beer. And I think it's approachable, but like when you're first starting to get into beer, there's like the Chimay's of the world. You're like, oh, is
Yeah.
that like the best beer there is? Like you hear about it your whole life, not your whole life, but like when you really start to kind of dig in, sow your wild oats, you see Belgians around.
Yeah.
So that's what I went with here.
So I think this would be a beer, if you were at Monk's Cafe in Philadelphia, you'd probably be ordering something like this.
You have some mussels on your plate,
Yeah.
and beer in your tummy.
Yeah. And I'm loving this actual bottle too, because it's a little more
Very
stout
unique
looking to it, and I kind of, with my current body shape, I kind of relate to the way that it looks compared to a regular tall bottle like the London Pride.
It does remind me of your shoulders, that's for sure.
Thank you.
But you have a much larger top.
Yeah, I do have a larger head.
Yeah,
so
this is like a wide mouth, like
Yeah.
what was that, like Miller Lite for a little while? Or
Yeah,
is that
I'd
Coors?
probably need that. Yeah. But I'm digging the taste. It's definitely the coriander is coming through very, very well.
And that's like
and
a little
it's-
bit spice, I think.
Yeah,
in there
I
somewhere.
dig that.
And how would you pronounce this again? La
Chauffe.
Chauffe.
La Chauffe doofy doofy.
It's very. It's absolutely interesting.
Yeah.
It's very unique. I don't know if I've ever had another beer quite like this. The Belgian ales are not a regular on my regular buy list, but it is. It's brewed well. It drinks easy. I don't know what coriander is.
Coriander? Yeah.
I've never seen it. I've never been around it, but I'm tasting something different in that, and I can only assume that's the coriander.
Yeah, it's like I think you're getting that typical Belgian taste, and Belgian beers I think all have this like similar type of vibe to it.
Okay.
And they're throwing like the coriander in it. That's like that aftertaste of that
And
spice.
how exactly does this relate to Oasis?
So I was looking for a brewery that was prolific,
Okay.
but really, but what they put out was like maybe very similar. And I find Belgian beers, even if they're a Dobel or a Tripel or a Belgian Blonde, like what this is, they don't have like a similar flavor profile.
Okay.
I think across their albums, Oasis sort of sounded very similar.
Okay. All right.
I think this is a
Give you a
beer
point
that
on
was
that one.
super popular in Belgium.
Okay.
That's what I went and looked for, and I talked to the beer distributor about. I was like, which one's like a super popular Belgian beer, that kind of thing.
I tell you what, one of the unexpected fun things about this podcast is chatting up the shop clerks. At these,
I'm doing
beer
a lot of
stores.
conversations.
We're just
Same.
talking about beer, getting recommendations.
I've insulted a couple of beer store folks as well when I asked I need a beer that is inappropriate when we were doing the Bloodhound Gang, and the gentleman who owned the beer store that I went to was a little offended and responded that they don't carry anything that is vulgar or inappropriate in their beer store. So that was just a fun little thing I had.
They don't have an adult section in there.
No, exactly. There's no curtained off section that for adults only. Even though, well, I guess beer is for adults only.
It's been funny. I've now talked to a few shopkeepers, and they're like, "Oh, why are you looking for something so specific?" And I tell them we're doing a podcast, and then it's like, I think they're trying to feel me out. They're like, "Does this guy think he knows more about beer than me?" And it's like, I was like, I probably don't.
I probably don't. Yeah.
I'm researching a band and trying to come up with concepts.
Has anybody asked to listen to the podcast? Or?
Yeah. So I have had a few people like ask for the name. I see them like going onto their phone. Who knows if they're actually listening? I mean, the numbers are going up, guys. Keep watching.
Going up. Keep
sharing with your
listening,
friends.
Keep sharing with your friends.
Van Halen was our most watched episode, and it got taken down for a copyright strike, so appreciate you watching. NBC wouldn't let us show 15 seconds of a 30-year-old sketch. Sons of bitches.
Yeah, it's kind of weak.
Yeah, well, what can you do?
I mean, and I'm
It's
also.
theirs. They can do what they want.
And can we all just agree that Oasis is the best British band since the Beatles? We can't put it in the
I
video.
would love to have this clip in the thing, but it'll get taken down.
You know what I'm talking about there?
No, I do not.
It's a Will Ferrell
Another-
SNL sketch.
Another SNL skit? Nice.
Yeah, where like they were in the House of Commons, in the House of Lords, like they're all like going.
Oh wait,
nuts.
I do recall that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about their albums that they put out. I remember when this album first came out in 1994. Definitely maybe.
Definitely, maybe. Great name.
The first single that I remember hearing on the radio was "Live Forever." I think that got a lot of play on Y100, which was the local radio station at the time.
Yeah,
in the
I
Philadelphia
actually.
area.
My notes was I was getting nostalgic for all the I was like, is this in TV shows? Like, I remember this being like so prominent at the time. That definitely maybe.
And I think officially
Forever.
Supersonic was the first single off the album, but I don't recall ever hearing that on the radio. So maybe it was the first single in England.
Yeah, I never really heard that one on the radio either, but Supersonic's great. When I think of this album, that's one of the ones I think of at Rock and Roll Star.
Definitely. And then, coming up and, following this up in 95 was I would say their biggest album. It's the biggest selling album in the UK in the 1990s. What's the Story, Morning Glory? Some of the songs that came off of that album: Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger, She's Electric, Champagne Supernova. Great songs on this album.
Yeah, and some of the ones you didn't even mention, Morning Glory.
Yep.
Sorry, I just went for my favorites off the album.
Yeah, roll with it. I mean, this is
You gotta roll with it.
it's a monster, man. This is probably, I mean, not probably, the biggest one, the most famous and popular songs that have no doubt been ruined by a bro at a campfire with an acoustic guitar.
Excuse me. Do not. You are you're touching upon something that I was going to talk about.
Dan feels very attacked.
Yes.
How many
Granted,
times?
I have
How many
not,
times?
I have not played it in front of a fire, but one of my go-to acoustic songs that I play on the guitar is Wonderwall. I've played it at a couple open mics. There were a couple ladies that I would try to impress by.
You're a wonderwall.
Exactly.
Are those
I
even the
sound a little
words?
better when I sing it, but I've used it to try to impress the ladies. It didn't work with my wife,
Works
but
every time.
yeah, it didn't work with my wife, but it worked with some other ladies. So
Well, I mean, something worked with your wife. Wonderwall, a lot of this album's been on Ted Lasso. And that speaks to like past choice there. Like they are definitely sampled a lot for different soundtracks out there. I tried to find comprehensive lists. I don't think I actually have found it because I feel like it's used a lot. And it's been really kind of difficult to see just how much. But each of those three songs you mentioned, Dan, at least on 10 different TV shows and movies.
oh yeah,
Dang.
and the music videos for those songs were pretty awesome too. Champagne Supernova was like a trippy kind of video in the 90s.
Yeah, one of the genres I saw them listed under was like psychedelic rock, which I didn't think really applied. I think they get more into electrica.
I think they try to be
Electronica?
psychedelic
Yeah.
rock.
Really?
Yeah. I think some of the stuff has got like an electric kind of sound to it.
When you get to some of their later albums, and maybe we get into it right now. But that's like, they started introducing the sitar, like they think they're so cool. I know, and I think that's like where they're trying to go with it.
Yeah. So next album, 2 years later, 1997, Be Here Now.
Again, great title.
Yep. Couple great songs on there, All Around the World. What? You didn't like that song?
No, it's I'm reading my notes to make myself laugh. Because
Backing himself up over there.
I had to go through the first two albums, and like we were saying, like they were like two record sets for the digitally remastered, and 3 record set. By the time I got to Be Here Now, I got to the song Fade In, Fade Out, and I was like, oh, this is the perfect metaphor for how I'm listening to this band right now.
And you got Do You Know What I Mean? I love that's a good first song on that album.
Didn't mean.
Don't Go Away. Another song that I covered prolifically in my cover band, U2 Rocks Me.
Yeah, this is my favorite Oasis song for sure.
We played it. We played it at both of my sisters' graduation parties. So, Don't Go Away was our heartfelt song
Dang.
that we played.
Trying to get them not to move out.
Yeah, and our prop master Bill Bean would be holding a suitcase the whole time during the song because we don't want you to go away. We don't want you to move away. We wanted you to stay in the house. So
Don't go away. This is probably the band we're singing the most of on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Say that you'll stay.
I was trying to do a David Lee Roth thing on
yeah?
the Van Halen, but, didn't really get there.
Yeah, that's
I didn't like this album.
Really? Why not?
I was really super familiar with the first two, and I think I kind of
Yep.
skipped this one. And listening to it again, I was just like, I remember Oasis being better. My memory of the band was like, oh, they're one of the best. They're one of the, I just.
I think that was like the world's interpretation at the time, and kind of like what media, like multimedia, or
And then when I
not
went
social
back to
media, but public
listen,
media
I was
saying to
like,
us.
oh, these songs are really good, but these albums themselves, they're not really that great. Even though, I mean, there are albums that I like from beginning to end. This was just not one of them.
Yeah. So besides "Don't Go Away," like I think "All Around the World" isn't so bad.
All around the world.
The world.
We don't know the words, but I can sing along to the song. Sorry.
Standing on the Shoulder of Giants is okay as well.
And All Around the World has an interesting music video. It's kind of a play on Yellow Submarine from the Beatles. They're traveling around in like this yellow UFO type thing that is, it has a similar. Yeah, it's decorated similar to the Yellow Submarine that the Beatles featured in
Did
their
you guys
cartoons,
notice
so.
anything special about track 7?
No.
Track 7, that slide guitar. You didn't pick up on a certain movie star playing slide guitar?
No, I didn't.
Fade in,
Johnny
fade out.
Depp
I
was
was
playing?
Johnny Depp.
Really?
Slide guitar.
How about
track
that?
7.
Oh, but that's when I was making my joke, so I probably was tuned out.
Yeah.
Right now, I was like, I am so clever.
So, next we're moving into the 2000s with the band, and this is kind of when I kind of tuned out of Oasis.
You fade in, fade out.
Exactly. In 2000, they had the album "Standing on the Shoulder of Giants."
This is really where the tension between brothers really starts to happen.
I think it was happening.
Yeah,
It
so like
just-
the Be Here Now period where
it made its way into the songwriting. I
Liam
guess.
would get like a sore throat and not want to do the show, and then Noel would step up, and then
Yeah.
Liam would go
There was
to
a
the
famous,
show and heckle.
Yeah,
like,
MTV Unplugged. I think
the
he
MTV
did
Unplugged
that.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing that he would, and Noel, because Noel wrote all the songs, he could sing them all.
Right.
So,
Or did he, Dan?
well, most of the songs. Sorry.
Well,
did I?
that's the thing they would argue about, like who actually wrote the songs. that
Gotcha.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's brothers for you.
Yeah.
I don't have a brother, but I assume that that brothers fight about stupid stuff like that. So, I've seen my sisters fight about stupid stuff like that. So,
There
Yeah.
are some songs where Liam is credited as the songwriter, and I think you can definitely tell the style is different. Noel has a style, and Liam has a similar but different style.
Yeah.
yeah. Any songs on that album stand out to you guys?
Nope. I
No?
actually, I listened to this. I did not like it.
Same.
F it in the bushes. I was just like,
The from the Snat soundtrack. That's probably the only real interesting song on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2002, Heathen Chemistry. Love the name of the album. Was once again not really a fan of the.
This
the
is
songs.
where I hop back in. I actually really like this album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like my re-listening that in prep for this. This is where I start to really make fun of them. It's like using a sitar. I was also just really tired of listening to them at this point. And I was like, what are they trying to do here? You can tell that I feel like this is like after the real. So like, is Liam still in the band at this point? Or, I mean, like,
Yeah, he's in the band up
Like,
until
are there troubles over
until
at this
they
point?
break up in 2009. Yeah.
But yeah, just constant. You guys watch Shameless?
Yes,
Only for a little bit.
it's a great show.
Shameless. I saw.
I had like a free Showtime weekend or something
Yeah,
like that.
I
That's
only
how-
seen a couple of seasons too, but I think that's like based off an English style comedy.
Is anybody else noticing we're burping a lot more today? Or right now on this beer, or is that this your regular burping? I'm suppressing a lot of burps
I'm a pretty
as we're
consistent
talking.
burper.
So, okay.
When we get doing this.
All right.
Not
I
anymore.
didn't know if it was just this specific beer or not, but
But the Brits fight different, man. They're
Yeah.
just like real direct with it. They're not afraid to call you a cunt to your face and just. Are we allowed to say cunt on YouTube?
You'll find out.
I'll have to mark it as explicit.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's they use it different.
Yeah, it is different. Like cursing isn't such a big deal. I remember I was on my under 13 soccer team, and we had like a player from England come over to like coach us, and he was cursing. He was like, "Oh, sorry, it's not that big a deal in England." And we're just like, "Oh, this is so cool. He's cursing at us." I also took a pass from him, and he like really hit it hard at me, and like knocked the wind out of me. And he was like, "Ooh, good job by you." I remember him being like, he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like trying to be the biggest tough guy in the world, but I could not run for like 5 minutes.
Stop Crying Your Heart Out, Songbird, and Little by Little. All good songs. I really enjoyed this one.
I did not. So 2005, Don't Believe the Truth.
Yeah.
Now, all right. Now you're feeling your oats.
No.
No.
I just,
This is
if there's the times we are now, and this is, from 2007.
Five.
Close. Don't believe the truth. That's a great way to go.
Fight the power.
My notes for this one's like, their Velvet Underground phase. That's cool. I never heard this album beforehand.
Never heard this one before.
And then I looked it up. I was like, oh, this album's so weird. Like then they go into like this like weird like creepy like circus music. Part of the cue sounds familiar and dramatic. I can't put my finger on what I like about it, or do I even like it? I was like, what's going on with this album? Then I was jumping around in my interpretation, and I looked and I saw that there was 3 different songwriters on this, and it started to all make sense. So there was like a kind of I started to divest responsibility a little bit, and it didn't make it as cohesive as some of the other albums.
Yeah.
Lila, probably the best one. But other than that, no. These guys really embrace like a rock and roll lifestyle.
I'd say so, yeah.
Some bands, like, they're not into the whole rock star thing, so they, like, try and downplay it.
Oh, yeah.
These guys were like, no, mate, we're fucking rock stars. We drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes, and, we do drugs and bang birds, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And that kind of lifestyle can create a lot of problems. And maybe they keep you together longer than you should be.
Yeah, so final album, 2008, Dig Out Your Soul.
Don't even have any notes on it.
No.
Listen to it.
Didn't do anything for me. It was kind of, that was...
And we were even...
on their way,
I was happy to get done.
We had it on earlier, and it's just, background noise.
Yeah.
Nothing sticks out.
It
There are a lot
it
of
seems
burps
like
going with
soundtrack.
This, Belgian thing.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. I
gotta
mean, it's
get through a
like
sentence
soundtrack music to me, a lot of Oasis.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
is.
oh, okay, like you can hear this on a TV show. Like, you can put on an episode of Charmed.
Yeah.
And you're like,
But
oh.
it's not like a Rilo Kiley type of, TV soundtrack.
No, where
type
like they're
of-
kind of carrying the scene,
Yeah.
like setting the vibe. This is just like, it's just there because otherwise it'd be too quiet.
Exactly. All right. I think we're ready for our next break, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
And, one
Yeah.
more beer
One more beer.
coming
and,
from me.
let's talk a little bit more about Oasis and some of the drama, I think, that they had behind
As
the
long
scenes.
as you guys don't look back in anger.
Don't look back in anger. All right. Everybody, let's take a quick break.
All around the world, gonna spread the word.
All right, so that was a great game of football. I think we're ready to talk about our English football, and I think we're ready to talk.
They
about
call
our
it
third
matches,
beer.
Dan.
Yes,
Let's go
matches, sorry.
Wrexham.
Yeah, Wrexham. So, all right, third beer.
Wrexham.
I went
Damn
a-
near killed him.
Nice.
Thank you.
Hey, Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, you can take that, Ryan Reynolds.
4 year, or was that 4 year strong?
It's Tommy Boy, isn't it?
It's the name of a song too.
I'm thinking Fallout Boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
So I went a different. I wanted to stay away from getting an English beer.
Did he go European?
No, I went domestic.
Oh boy.
The whole point of this thing.
Speaking about football, the Gallagher brothers are huge Manchester City fans.
Ah.
So they're, Manchester City in the Premier League. There's an official. Let me get the beers out first, and then I'll talk about it.
Oh, I can't wait to see what this is. And
This
by
is
the
also
way,
a retread.
oh, that's kind of fun.
Whoa.
Interesting. I've This is actually the first time
from
we
a
all needed.
previous episode.
You hate Blue Moon.
I didn't say we don't have to get the beer that we like every time. We just need we need the beer that we think best represents the band.
That's
The
true.
Gallagher brothers are. It's actually a twist off.
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah. So the Gallagher brothers are Oasis, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So they're huge Manchester City fans. The official song of Manchester City is Blue Moon.
Moon.
They sing Blue Moon at games. So
How does Blue Moon go?
Blue Moon, I saw,
Saw
you
you
standing
standing
alone.
Without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own.
Wow,
There you
look
go.
at that. All right, Dust. So, I read an interview that Noel Gallagher did in 2000. He was talking about how he came to support Man City when he could have very easily, supported Manchester United, which is the rival, and they've been up until the last 10 years had been a lot more successful than Man City. So he said it was his dad who ingrained his Man City fandom. Here's the quote. The reason is basically a family one. My dad hated his brothers. They were all Irish people. They were all Irish people who came over here and decided to support United. My dad chose City instead just to piss them off. No other reason than that. So when I read that quote and I saw that,
The spitefulness runs deep
it
in
runs
the Gallagher
deep
family.
in the Gallagher family. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, all right, Blue Moon is the beer for Oasis.
Is Man
and for the
City
Gallagher
and
brothers.
Man United, do they have a rivalry? I would imagine they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever a team in the same city plays against each other, it's called a derby. But when the English say it, sounds like they're saying derby.
Having a derby.
Yeah, exactly. So
a bit of Barney Rubble.
yeah, two
trouble.
times a year in the Premier League, Manchester City and Manchester United play against each other, and it's it pits families against families, neighbors against neighbors. Yeah.
See, I would have guessed that Liam Newell picked different teams.
No, they went.
That's what I was going.
They
with.
went. They stayed with Man City. Once you, pretty much in England, once you pick a team, once you pick a team, once you are born into a team, you're staying with them.
Or if your father has a team and you're in that house, you're rooting for your father's
yeah,
team.
definitely.
Yeah, unless you're some
you're not
a-hole
making
who wants
the-
to root
you're
for
not
the
making a
Cowboys and you
switch.
live in Philadelphia, like
Yeah.
those jerks.
But I mean, if there was a second Philadelphia team and your whole household was, we're all about the Eagles, and then you decided to cheer for the other Philadelphia team.
The Steel Eagles.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. So Blue Moon is Oasis in my opinion. So we've drank it before. It's a Belgian style wheat ale. I'm not a fan of it, but I was willing to take a bullet to show.
It was a
Yeah.
engaging story.
Thank you.
I got real nervous when I was like, "Oh Christ, the soccer again!" But here I am, deeply entertained.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
no-
that was, if I didn't have the entertaining story, I don't think I would have stuck with Blue Moon. But as soon as I got that quote, it was like, oh, that's gold.
I think we can reuse beers as long as they're not named the winner, right? I think that
Yeah.
should be like how we approach
Yeah.
this. We haven't
Excuse
really
me?
talked about it. We could reuse beers like Blue Moon. Like we didn't. Blue
This
Moon
could-
didn't.
Okay, I was going to say, this could be a winner today. We don't know.
And
We'll
that's
see.
what I mean.
All right.
Is that I believe that
So
I
you're
was
saying
Paramore.
a
right?
beer gets retired when it
If it wins, the
if
beer
it
has
wins?
to be retired.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. We better be keeping a list of that.
I know we probably should. We do. We do. In fact, we're very professional.
It's called the Band and Beers Podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, I almost picked Arrogant Bastard Ale for
this one?
for Neutral Milk Hotel.
Oh, wow.
Because I was just like, if we're gonna talk about a group just doing their own thing and not caring what anybody thinks about it,
That's kind of funny.
yeah,
Yeah,
But-
yeah, that works. That didn't win, so you could have.
yeah, I maybe should have.
Yeah, so interesting band facts that I had.
Yeah.
I had written down, basically that the Gallagher brothers were in the 90s, and I think probably still today are featured regularly in tabloid newspapers, for their disputes and their wild rock and roll lifestyles.
Not with Prince Harry dominating the
No,
papers,
no,
brother.
Yeah.
Bastard Harry.
They do news.
Jeez, I wouldn't have
different
called
over
that.
there.
Well, he could be a bastard.
Oh my
Didn't you-
goodness,
there-
that's right. No,
There's rumors that he's not fathered by King Charles. King Charles. The band gets a lot of comparisons to the Beatles. Their sound, you listen to the songs. I'm hearing Beatles songs.
Yeah, for sure.
The sitar gets
100%.
thrown in there.
And they're like, oh, cool. I remember when the Beatles did this.
Yeah, and I don't know if they. I wasn't able to find anything specific about whether they. Assume they hate being compared to the Beatles, but I don't know if they were. Maybe they were trying to be the.
I think
sound
they
like the
were.
Beatles.
I think my research went and like kind of went off in a different direction, but I do remember seeing something like they really did want to be like the next Beatles.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that does make sense if Noel's just like, look, I'm writing the songs and we're going to be very successful.
That's the Beatles.
If you're gonna copy a band,
Yeah.
why not
Copy one of the greatest bands ever, yeah. But the original name of the band was Rain. That was a Beatles song, like I said. They had
Oasis is a better name.
Yeah. They had a number of different drummers. At one point, Zach Starkey, who is the son of Ringo Starr, was a touring member of Oasis.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
So there's a little Beatles.
Is that
tie
Ringo's
there.
real last name?
Yeah, Starkey is his last name. Richard Starkey is Ringo's actual name.
Did they call him like? Was it like, hey Richie, or was it like, hey Dick? And they just like Ringo was like a performance name.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to do the Beatles.
And changing the last name to Starr was definitely a rock star move.
After the whole Pete Best fiasco.
Yeah. And then
Pete.
like I said earlier, the All Around the World music video was had that Yellow Submarine feel to it with all the weird. Yes. I'll allow you to sing it again.
Say what you say.
And then they also, I found a cover of "You've Got to Hide Your Love Away," which is a Beatles song. Hey, you've got to hide your love away. Yeah, that was on the remastered version of "What's the Story, Morning Glory." So,
All right.
yeah. So.
I have watched Oasis Behind the Music.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It set the record for most bleeps.
For the behind the musics or
Uh,
what record?
The interviews with the Gallagher brothers.
Yeah.
Literally, they could not go. And this was in the Osborne reality television show.
Oh,
at
yeah.
the time.
He
And,
couldn't even speak without dropping an F-bomb.
Yeah, yeah. So the
He could barely speak in general. I
Yeah,
guess.
so they
Gallagher
he didn't get a
brothers.
lot of screen time, or else he probably would have the record.
Yeah.
were over that. And then I like Liam singing the songs. I'm not as interested in the band when it's Noel songs. But I think, honestly, I'd have to take Noel's side in this split. Liam is such a prick that he just gets, like, frustrated and decides he doesn't want to do a show while he's at the show. It's just like, nah, sorry, Ken, I just don't, I can't do it. And then Noel's just like, well, I'm writing all these songs. He's flaking out and missing shows. I'm singing the songs and people just seem to be just as happy. It's just like, what do I need you for?
So was
say
that the
fuck off.
feud? I went to look up the feud. I got distracted. Is that really what it is? It's just like Liam is just kind of falling out of being productive.
And, I'm not a singer.
There's a lot of ego involved between the two of them.
I don't know
So
what
they're gonna clash
what kind of
in that
toll it
sense.
takes on your throat. And if you're in a situation where you literally can't sing,
He was also, a prominent drinker and smoker,
Drinker
so
and
that's
smoker,
gonna
drug user.
that is gonna
Take
kill
care of
your
your
vocal
instrument.
cords. I never understood how or why singers are, if a singer is a smoker, why?
well, sometimes it's how they get their
Maybe
sound.
if you can get a specific sound with that, so that does make sense. But the other times, you look at the Beatles, and they're all smoking, they're chain smokers while they're recording the album, and it's like you guys have like heavenly voices. What are you doing?
I know. So I've referred to it now a couple times. Like I was listening to Oasis doing my research and like trying to get some facts and whatnot, and I was like, is this the band that Lost Band is based off of? And in fact, it is. So Drive Shaft.
Oh.
Yeah, they have Dominic's
seen
band
Lost.
where we are everybody. That's absolutely 100% Oasis. In fact, his brother's name in the TV show is Liam.
Yeah.
This is a show. What is it called?
The
Lost.
TV show Lost.
Never. I've heard
One
of
of the
it.
guys on
Never
the plane.
I watched it. Never
was a-
watched it out of spite.
They had a full category in the quiz that we went to religiously. So we had because the quiz master was a big Lost fan, so I had to catch up on Lost just so we could actually get some questions right in that category.
Gotcha.
And then he was watching Lost, like when the show stunk.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Dominic Monaghan, the actor who plays the character who was in Drive Shaft,
Who was in
he
Drive, yeah, that's right.
he confirms that they
Not
were
Penny's
based
Boat.
on Oasis. That Charlie thinks that maybe they're on the size of Oasis, but they weren't really, and like reality, that kind of thing. Both bands had a lead singer named Liam. Both bands were formed in Manchester. Sibling relationship. Charlie and his brother Liam kind of famously in the show break up because Liam wasn't about making music anymore, being productive, and Charlie was, and then Liam gets Charlie into drugs, the whole thing. So I have a lot of notes about this, and I was like, oh, no one's going to want to know about this as much as I did. But I was really excited to like really concretely figure out. I was like, Drive Shaft is Oasis. I always thought it, but
I got
that's certainly the way it
a
goes.
wave of lost memories that I'd put away.
That you kind of lost.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, Charlie plays Wonderwall in one of the episodes on the guitar.
Yeah.
It's an easy song to play on guitar and sing, so I highly recommend it. You just need a capo, that's all.
All right. So what do you guys think? Bodies of water,
Let's figure
rivers,
out,
lakes, bays, all of them.
names of
I'm
them
gonna-
or types.
Names of them.
Names of them.
Oh,
I'm about to
let's get
embarrass
going.
myself.
Should we include oceans?
No, because I think we can all name all 5 oceans.
So we're just doing rivers and lakes.
Rivers, lakes, and bays.
So we'll stick to the rivers and lakes they were
that you
used
used
to.
to.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
then we'll be
I
able
was
to
trying to tee up somebody on that.
Yes.
So the Mississippi River,
Lake Superior,
The Missouri River,
Lake Erie,
Lake Ontario,
the Danube River,
the Colorado River,
the Amazon River,
the Thames River,
the Nile River,
the Dead Sea,
Lake Huron,
the Allegheny,
the Mediterranean,
the Monongahela River,
the Gulf of Mexico.
the Allegheny.
I said that.
Oh,
I
damn.
said that.
I was like, did I hear that, or is that just in my
I
brain?
said the Allegheny because I can't remember the other two.
How about the Delaware River?
Oh.
The Ohio.
What about the Delaware Bay?
What about the Schuylkill River?
What about the the LA River?
What about Lake Erie?
Been
I already said.
Say what you say.
I was trying to
Don't
run.
ever go away.
Wait. Those are not right. Say what you say. Well, no. Don't go away.
So, top 3 songs for each of us, would you say?
Say what you say.
Crying your heart out.
Say what you say.
Man.
Forever and a day. Having the
All right.
time of our lives.
Let's save this for our karaoke.
'Cause I need
It's
more
like
time.
supernova in the sky.
'Cause I need more time just to make things
All right,
right.
Matt, your first pick. Oh, the drama.
All right, I guess you got to take the best player on the board at the time. He's available. Number 1 pick. I'm going Wonderwall.
Good call. All right, I get to go second because I finished second in that in categories. I'm going with "Don't Go Away." That's yeah, that's that. I had that listed as my number 1. So
Oh, I'm mad at you. I don't really like any other song, so I'm gonna go. Don't Look Back in Anger, and then I'm gonna go All Around the World. All around the world.
all right, I'm gonna go with "Supersonic" as my second pick.
Ooh, wow.
I love that song.
Okay, man. I'm going to go Champagne Supernova.
In the sky.
And then I'm going to take Little by Little.
All right, my last pick, I'm going to go with She's Electric, and I'm going to give a quick story. Our friends TJ and Erica, when Erica was pregnant with their first child, Layla, would listen to this song all the time, and Layla inside the womb would be dancing along with it. Oh, that's cool. And they used to, when Layla was a baby, they would have it playing and be dancing with her, and she loved that. So
Oh, wow.
I've always had that in the back of my head. Anytime I hear the song, I'm like, oh, Layla.
Yeah, we love Layla.
We
That's
do.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, my last song, I'm gonna take "Live Forever."
Good call. All right. What's our breakdown, Dust?
Now you tell me that those aren't the top 9 songs. Those are great songs.
Yeah, I think we all crushed it. Pat, you definitely got like I think the most listens if you want to count them up. It's Wonderwall, Champagne Supernova, and Little by Little.
Yeah.
Dan, you stole my Don't Go Away, Supersonic, and then She's Electric. I went with Don't Look Back in Anger and All Around the World, and then Live Forever.
All great songs. I think we all hit our stride with those picks.
I'd listen to any one of those.
Yeah. All right. I think it's time to figure out which beer is Oasis, guys. I think I am gonna go first.
Okay.
With my choice. I thought I had a pretty strong pick with Blue Moon to represent the Gallagher brothers. Dusty, I appreciate the effort you put forth in getting a beer that kind of looked like me, a beer bottle that looked like me.
Doofy.
And a Belgian beer that none of us had before. It was good. It was tasty. But I did not get how it related to Oasis. I don't know. I don't understand how it related.
Well, I have 3 paragraphs written on like why I chose it. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, you laid it out pretty.
No, I don't think I need to hear that.
Mm.
Anyway, London Pride. The Oasis was from Manchester, but not London. But it's an English beer. I felt like it would be a beer that you would drink in an English pub, so I'm going to go with London Pride is Oasis. Pat, you want to go next?
Yeah. Tough pick. Good beers.
Both Belgian.
Yeah, how about that? A Belgian white and a beer brewed in Belgium. Man, I love the notes of coriander. That seems like almost a cheat code if you want to make a really tasty beer. Just dab a little. I guess you dab, maybe a drop. I don't know what it is. I've never.
Shake, maybe?
Yeah.
Crush it and then drop it in, maybe?
Yeah. I hate soccer. I think it's boring, and I just I get people are into it. I'm just not. I like pro wrestling. I mean, that's dumb. That's like the thing is dumb as hell you could be into. But the story that Dan told made a non-fan like me have like a genuine interest of like, oh, they like this and their dad and the rivalry with their brothers and the city rivalry, and if that's the song they sing and the beer that it does kind of like go along with that. So I'm gonna go with Blue Moon.
All right, here I go again, just being too highbrow for you guys with my metaphors.
You're too fancy, yeah. We're simple
You know what?
guys
It's
here,
just
right?
like for him, he really does like he goes like mine makes the most sense.
Yeah.
he can't not.
It makes sense to him.
Like in
Yeah.
his head, he's just like, nah, I did it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is it. I
He's
got it right,
closed.
guys. Are you? Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. And we did not understand.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to work on. I was like, I had to just explain it better with these two numbskulls. I'm bad at explaining things. It's
You gotta dumb your theory down.
That's right.
So
I'm telling you, there's
Clearly the-
germs
there-
out there. They're on the surfaces. You put them in your mouth, and that's what makes you sick. Yeah,
No.
right.
it's not so much I believe that they are a Belgian beer as much as the type of influence that beer has on people. I think Blue Moon is prolific in the United States. I think it hit as a, kind of a early craft beer around the same time Sam Adams was. And to me, like something like London Pride, where you're going to hear it all the time or drink it all the time in the UK.
We need to confirm that, by the way, whether they drink it there all the time or
This
not.
is true.
hear
So I'm
they-
making
I hear they
making
drink
it
it all the time.
an
Okay.
assumption that's what that is. It's almost like almost like a Miller Lite or something that you would have here in the States, and that they would like Oasis must be like background music there, the same way that you kind of hear it everywhere here on soundtracks. For me, I'm gonna go with London Pride.
All right. So Fuller's London Pride is Oasis.
Oasis is the pride of London, and they are London Pride. So this is it. This is wrapping up our Sessions by the Sea.
Yeah.
one
Our seashore
win
six pack.
apiece. We all won the band we picked.
What a weekend! Yeah,
Oh, that's interesting.
How about that?
and we all won our own band.
Yeah, that's what Pat just said.
Yes.
It's funny how these things work out
Yeah.
sometimes. It's been fun. I have to hit the road. But I wish I could stay here with you. I just wish this was our life. We could just
I know. Wouldn't this be great?
drink beers and talk about bands and
Yeah, if you love this podcast, just start sending us money. We'll do this as
play,
a
play with
job.
children, you know?
Yeah, I'll buy this house that we're in, and then we'll just chill here.
There we go.
be
I
great.
love it.
Do you think we would last longer than Oasis, or do you think we'd break up?
There
Before
definitely be
Oasis
some
did.
bitter feuds eventually.
Probably like the rest of our families that we
Yeah.
have to leave behind.
A lot of egos here.
All right. I'm good. You guys good?
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
do it.
good.
All right, let's send them off. With,
See you later, Oasis. I'm not going to listen to you for a long time.
It's been real, guys. And from us at Abandoned Bears, we just want to say,
Abandoned Bears.
Abandoned beers.
Abandoned Bears.
So don't go away.
Say what you say.
She's electric. She's in a family full